Hey everybody, it's Berg, back at you with some more belt talk. And today we're going to be talking about one of my all-time favorite belt designs. This is the TNA Midwest 2007 World Heavyweight Championship title belt. This is the official first version of the TNA World Heavyweight Championship belt. And we'll get a little bit into that here as we're taking a look at the belt. But for now, let's turn this baby over and get a closer look. Okay everybody, check it out. Here we have... Wait a minute. What happened? It shrunk. Hold on a minute. Okay, there we go. That looks a little better, doesn't it? Yeah. Now we're talking. In fact, we're talking about the TNA World Championship title belt from the 2007 era. This is TNA Wrestling's first official title belt after they separated from the NWA moniker. This belt, affectionately known as the TNA Midwest in the belt collecting hobby, because this belt was made by Dave Milliken and Midwest Title Belts. Dave Milliken and Reggie Parks would collaborate and produce some of the best championship belt designs. But this belt is called the TNA Midwest, and it is TNA's first heavyweight championship title belt. Now, one of the things that I want to show you, and that you'll probably notice right away, is that classic Reggie Parks and Dave Milliken eagle, right? Their main plate has the giant eagle on the front, and you can see this one, the wings flock up and around the main plate. But pay attention to the actual shape of the main plate. It's very reminiscent of some of those classic designs that Reggie was known for in the late 70s into the 80s, all the way up even into the early 90s. The classic nature of the plates, the shape of the plates, you can pick out and see that it is very reminiscent of the Reggie Parks era. While TNA was affiliated with the NWA, they were utilizing the Domed Globe Wrestling belt. And everybody, I think, who knows anything about wrestling is familiar with the Domed Globe. But you can see that as they stepped away from the NWA moniker and became their own independent company, they came up with a championship belt design that perfectly blends that old heritage into this new modern era of wrestling with an aggressive, fast-paced style. You can see we've got raised globes on the side plates. And that, I don't think that that's a coincidence. I think that is intentional. One of the things, too, that I really appreciate about it is these grommets that are built into the leather work. This belt, again, perfectly blending kind of that classic heritage. We saw these grommets present on the NWA Dome Globe. I don't think it's any coincidence here either that we see them on the new TNA design that they had in 2007 when they separated from the NWA. And I think when you look at this belt, you can just see all of those elements perfectly blended together to create one world championship. So other things about this specific belt. This belt was made, or these plates were made by Classic Shields, and they are 4mm thick plates. And Classic Shields, if you're not familiar, probably one of the premier belt makers out there. They're one of the more well-known belt producers, especially for those belt collectors who like to get realistic replica copies of the original belts. And Classic Shields does a really nice job, especially with the way they produce their plates. So as we kind of move down here into the strap, we've got TNA stamped into the tool work here. And then we've got that classic Midwest tooling in the snap box. At the end of the belt, you've got this gorgeous TNA dual-plated full belt tip. It's the little details like that that really make this a special belt. This belt has been set up on, or these plates have been set up on Paradise Customs leather, and I'm not all that familiar with them. I'm the second owner of this belt, so I'm not all that familiar with Paradise Customs. But I can tell you, if you look closely here, you can see a Paradise stamped into the signature of this strap maker. So I think that's pretty cool. It's a great way for them to put their mark on something and make it identifiable. There's also this mark here, which I believe that's a Paradise in the center, but I can't quite make out what specifically this is. But it's set up into this Midwest style tooling again in the snap box area. And then we're flanked all around the plates with traditional clamshell or camouflage tooling. What I'm not a fan of on this belt is the red croc backing. Unfortunately, that's just a byproduct of being a second or a third owner of something. You don't get to be the one to choose how it's crafted when you're buying a used product. But I will say that it's put together well. So while I'm not a fan of the red croc backing, everything is covered, everything is sealed up, nothing's coming apart, and everything looks good. So I'm happy with that. So I just wanted everybody to have a quick look at this belt with me. I recently got it, added it to my collection. I'm so happy that I did because it's a belt that I've been after for quite a while. This belt went away in 2010. It was replaced by the Jeff Hardy Immortal title. And then after that was used, later that year in 2010, I believe Sting debuted the second version of the third version of the TNA World title, which would be the TNA Wildcat version, as it's affectionately known, made by Wildcat Belts. So, and that's a beautiful title as well. Thank you guys for taking a look at this with me. I'm super excited to have it in my collection. Oh, and I wanted to show you before we go, I do have a mini of this belt as well. So this is a TNA World Championship title belt. This was made by Jamil Sahari at JS Belts, and he gave this to me as a gift in one of my recent orders, and I thought, well, that's really cool. All right, there we have it, everybody. Thanks for taking a look at this TNA Midwest 2007 era World Heavyweight Championship title belt and its mini. I am Berg, and we will see you again for some more belt talk soon.